everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. My name is Carson and I am one of the soap artists on this channel now that my brother is helping me too. This video is being uploaded on March 4th, which is the March release date. So very quickly, I'm going to tell you guys what we're going to have available tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time at royaltysoaps.com. For high tops, we will have Thunderstorm, Woodland Whimsy, Opal, Warm Vanilla Sugar, and the super exclusive gender reveal soap that we did to let you guys know we're having a baby boy. And for the low top soaps, we will have Avocado and Green Tea, Acai Bowl, Blackberry Sage, Bird of Paradise, and Frostberry. We also typically have a few leftover soaps from the release in February. So if there was something in February that you didn't get to get, maybe a Cheshire Cat or a Golden Afternoon, we will probably have a few of those available in very, very limited quantity. And I also happen to know that we're running a special deal on some of the Valentine's Day soaps, just because they're technically out of season now. This is the first low top soap that I've made in my slab mold that I've actually gotten to place embeds on perfectly in every single bar and cut them because my brother's made me a divider. It's really super cool. The pour on this is beautiful. You guys are gonna love Blackberry Sage. And it's infused with tea, which makes it even cooler. So without further ado, let's make some soap. One of the really cool things about this particular soap, besides the fact that it's a low top soap with embeds on it, is that we're gonna put real live tea in there. There's a lot of different ways you could add tea to your soap. You could take the tea out of the pouches and add it like an exfoliant. You could steep the tea and add it in its liquid form. You could also steep it, turn it into ice cubes, and then pour your lye directly over it. So you end up with a lye tea solution instead of lye water solution. You could also infuse the oils with it and let the oils sit for about, I'd say 30 to 60 days to get it really, really strong. So it kind of sucks out all the good stuff from the tea leaves and the other components of your tea and puts it directly into the oil properties. But today I have simply steeped 2 bags in this little cup right here. It's very dark, it's very concentrated, and it smells amazing. Also, you can peep the baby bump that I just can barely keep off the table anymore. He is getting so big. So we are gonna begin today by putting our stick blender into our oils, and then we're going to stick blend the tea right into the oils. And of course it is water, so it's not gonna meld completely, but it is gonna break it up a little bit before I add my lye water solution. You can probably tell that our soap mixture today is a slightly different color because tea. I have here my scale because I'm actually going to be measuring out a specific amount of soap batter. I know, look at me being all technical this time. I'm gonna be measuring out 6 pounds of my soap batter. I'm gonna put this to the side, and into the 2 smaller pitchers that you can see, I'm gonna be measuring out about 30 ounces of liquid soap, and we will place the 2 smaller pitchers and the large bucket out of the way and deal exclusively with this one. This is going to be our first layer of soap, and it's going to be purple, and I'm going to use a little bit of purple Vibrance mica, and I'm going to mix that in with the stick blender. I'm not going to turn it on. I'm just going to blend slightly, just like so, because it was dispersed in oil already, so that makes it really, really easy to incorporate into the soap batter. And now it's time to add the fragrance oil. So the fragrance oil we're using today is Blackberry Sage from Nature's Garden. If you're looking for something that smells a little bit similar to Black Raspberry Vanilla, but has some herbaceous middle and base notes, this is a great one. So it smells sort of like blackberries, but also like on the vine. So you still get those green notes in there. It's really stellar. I've added the proper amount of fragrance oil, so now it's time to blend and pour into our large slab mold. The whole entire purple container is going in here to create this nice flat purple base. And I will scrapey out my big container. The fragrance is wafting up to my nostrils. It smells so good. It is wafting, right? Caleb, is it wafting or wafting?
I think that's regional.
Wafting. Wafting.
And now for one of my favorite parts. We are going to add a cocoa powder line to the top of this soap. It's gonna cover the entire top so that whenever we cut it, there's a nice dark line splitting this beautiful purple color from the marbled top. I could not find my favorite spoon to scoop this out with, which I guess I'll have to yell at somebody about later. But for right now, let's just focus on the task at hand. The entire soap being covered now, I'm gonna take a wet paper towel, wipe down the sides. Now y'all tell me that isn't satisfying. Ooh, yes. Because we don't want this cocoa powder to be getting on any of the rest of the soap. Cool beans, let's let this set up and move on to the next layer. So into one of these containers, we will be pouring some Alpine Green mica from Nurture Soap mixed with some olive oil. Into the second container right here, we poured a little bit more of that purple vibrance mica. And into this large container, we're gonna be adding some titanium dioxide. Gonna put a little teeny tiny bit of the sprinkles over here in the purple one as well. And then I will start by mixing in the TD with my spatula, just to make sure that anything that went to the bottom is not gonna get stuck down there. I'm gonna try to incorporate it a little bit into the soap. This is one of the only colors that I like to tell soap makers who are just starting out that you really need to incorporate with your stick blender. You will see it just doesn't color completely, it doesn't disperse completely whenever you mix it with a spatula the way that these micas will. I'll go ahead and mix up this green now, show you guys what I mean. It just disperses so well. It doesn't even need stick blending, honestly. Same thing with the purple over here. It just does such a good job. So let's go ahead and mix up the colors with the stick blender. You'll be able to really see the difference in this one. All of the fragrance oil has been blended into each of the colors. So I'm gonna take these two little ones and I'm gonna pour them right here on the sides of the mold. And I'm not gonna blend it and I'm not gonna scrape it out because I would like to use what is left in my two containers for the very top of the soap for swirling. Once again, no stirring, no mixing, no blending, no nothing. This is how we're gonna get some really saturated colors in a beautiful marble pattern. And because I know that my soap is going to be shooting out this way at an angle, that's why I poured this also at an angle. I've placed my slab mold down. This bottom part is pretty darn stiff at this point, but still, to break the fall, I'm going to go ahead and summon my third hand. My third hand, hooray! So we're gonna start in this corner and we're gonna sweep in a square pattern and we're just gonna kind of make it smaller as we go along. All right, we'll start here. The purple, I think, will be the first color. Oh look, they both kind of started coming out as exactly the same time. So pretty. It's going to look so nice, and oh my gosh, it smells so good. And look at that pattern as it's coming out. This totally looks like one of those really cool marbly cakes that people do. Caleb, have you seen those cakes? I don't think they're called mirror cakes.
No,
where it
I've
looks
never seen that.
Yeah, they look like really shiny, and then they'll put like one splash of color in it and swipe it across, and it looks really cool.
That sounds cool.
Almost done. Get that last little swirl in there. Look, I love it when it has one line that comes out. I am now gonna scrapey my big container, and I'm not like rushing necessarily, but I am trying to go a little faster so I can get a really nice, really fluid swirl there on top. And now I'm gonna take those two buckets that I didn't scrape, I'm gonna put a little bit right down the middle of these soap loaves, and I can see where the middle is because of the marked lines that Caleb put on here for me. He's so handy. This is a nice runny fragrance to work with, so any of you soap makers out there who are looking for one for swirls, this is probably a good one for you to use. Those little buckets being scrapey scraped, I'm now gonna take my chopstick, the very one that I stole from Kenny many months ago, and I'm going to do a really pretty swirl here. And once again, nice and fluid still, so you have lots and lots of time to work. Make sure every single bar has a nice pretty swirl on top. This is one of my favorite things to watch whenever I'm doing editing, is the swirling process. I just think that it is so satisfying, and I know that people use this to put designs in like fudge and chocolate and stuff, because I've seen those YouTube videos of chocolatiers doing designs like this, and that also just, oh man, it's so relaxing to look at. Now it is time to put the embeds on, and I've got a super handy tool that's gonna help me do that. Kenny and Simeon crafted this divider. It is made out of, I don't actually know what, but these are definitely pieces of strings in the middle. I know it's kind of hard for you to see. I'm gonna hold it off to the side a little bit. And they tell me exactly where every single bar is gonna be. So I'm gonna line it up right here on top. I'm gonna place the straight lines going this way vertically towards me in place with the straight lines on both sides. And once I've placed it, we're gonna tape it just so it doesn't budge or I don't like accidentally knock it or something. Just 2 little pieces of tape will do you fine. And now it's time to put on all 50 of the Blackberry glycerin soap embeds. They look so real. The mold I used to make these is from vanulay.com. I'll leave you guys a link below. And I'm gonna place these in the middle of every single guide. Really shooting for the middle too, because this guide, while very well constructed, of course, is not 100% accurate. So whenever we go to cut, it's always good for you to err on being directly in the middle. In fact, I may go ahead and turn this. I feel I may be able to more properly gauge the middle going this way, and it'll help me see those little end pieces a lot easier as well. Now that all the blackberries are in, it is time to add 2 little leaves by hand on every single bar. These were piped with cold processed soap. And trust me, this is a part you are not gonna wanna watch because it is going to take absolutely forever. So by movie magic, all the little green leaves are in. So now it's time for my favorite part. We're gonna take a little bit of Sparkle Me Aqua. You guys can probably tell. This was a choice favorite glitter for this month. I absolutely dig it. It is so much fun, and it does such a good job of making a nice sparkly coat on top that isn't too overwhelming. And then using a little bit of snowflake sparkle, and I do mean very sparingly, I'm gonna sprinkle on top of the blackberries, and this is gonna make all of those little crevices and indentations show up so much better, especially after I spritz it with rubbing alcohol. It just really pulls the whole thing in. Perfect, so let's spritz the top with rubbing alcohol, and that's it. We're done with blackberry sage. This is what blackberry sage looks like up close. Look at that swirl. And it's so much fun to see embeds on the top of a low top soap. And you guys can definitely see as I pull the camera back how shiny the tops are due to that Sparkle Me Aqua. It just makes all the little ridges stand out that much more. So pretty. So we are gonna wait 18 to 24 hours, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna split the slab into loaves and cut the loaves into bars after this quick commercial break. The creamy color, the sparkles, everything is perfect. So I'm gonna line this up with the multi-bar cutter and hopefully everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. Looks about right. I'm gonna press down gently. Yep, look, nobody was cut in the process. So it looks like my brothers did an excellent job with the divider. So let's pull one out. This is what it looks like on the inside. So we have sort of a muted lavender purple that goes up into a sage green with a lavender and cream swirl. We have a dark cocoa powder mica line, and then on top we have the sparkles, we have the blackberry and the piped soap leaves. The smell is absolutely incredible. And I hope the folks who typically enjoy a simpler design like this, because it is simple, but there's a little bit of pizzazz. Also, this looks like an angry man with some crazy eyebrows. I'm not even joking, that's so weird. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see what I'm saying? Like, and it looks like he's so angry, like smoke is coming out of his ears. So Caleb joins me with the question of the day.
Would you rather have gills but you can't breathe underwater, or would you rather have wings but you can't fly?
Wings, because I'm just that extra. Man, but that would make sleeping kind of uncomfortable, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. Gills are so unsightly. I don't know, maybe I could fool small children by telling them I'm half mermaid. What about you, Caleb? What would you pick?
Probably gills. Gills and turtlenecks.
I'm ashamed to admit how long it took me to understand what you were talking about. I was like, gills and turtlenecks, like gills of a fish, neck of a turtle. To vote on the question of the day, please click the I in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Your opinion matters, people. This is a poll that counts for something. I don't know what, but I'm sure it's very important. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment down below. You can turn on notifications if you're not bothered by them, but if you are bothered by them, again, doesn't hurt my feelings. Tonight's big soapy release is at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time at royaltysoaps.com. If you have something in mind you want to make sure that you get, be sure to set your alarm. You can follow me on Instagram for Royalty Soaps and see all of my soapy stuff. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that is brewing yourself a warm cup of herbal tea or sitting down and watching some YouTube videos for super satisfying compilations. If you haven't ever watched people cut kinetic sand, it is so satisfying. And until next time, I hope you have an absolutely royal day, and bye for now. Meow.